It's Bourbon Classic 2015, and we're proud to welcome Andy Davidson. He is the director of Glencairn Crystal in Scotland. Thanks for joining us here.
Hey, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. I'm very welcomed as well. Thank you.
So I always tell people, if you're going to drink any kind of whiskey, this is the glass to use.
I'd say so. That would be my personal choice. I'm just a big fan of encouraging people to spend time appreciating their whiskey. And I think a big part of appreciating whiskey is the tool that is the receptacle. My father designed this nearly 30 years ago, and he wanted a glass that average consumers could use and get the most out of their whiskey. It wasn't intended to be a connoisseur's glass by any means. It was designed for the bars, and this is a shape that he felt was the best. And evidently, a great many whiskey distilleries in Scotland and here in Kentucky think the same.
Quick lesson on how to actually do this. What do we do?
My feelings are that when you get the whiskey served, it's lead-free crystal. So part of the stick is check out the colour. You observe the legs, the beads, see if they're thick, if they're thin, that tells you so much about the whiskey. And then when you're nosing, if you're not familiar with what you're drinking, take it easy. Always, do it with your mouth open initially, and then, if it feels comfy, if your nose isn't getting anaesthetised, just go straight back in. The thing about the glass is, because just like wine, aroma in whiskey will develop over time in the glass, but it's focusing them at the nose, so you can really get the most from your bourbon. If you drink bourbon in a tumbler, you're missing out on the whole experience of that real aroma in the whiskey. And then when I taste, I just love coating my whole mouth. When the Glencairn Glass came on the scene, it was just incredibly fortuitous timing. The glass itself arrived just as single malt Scotch whisky was beginning to develop a name for itself in traction, and the growth of single malt Scotch whisky catapulted the Glencairn Glass with it. And to be fair, the bourbon industry wasn't long behind, only a matter of a few years. And in that time, the glass is supplied to pretty much every distillery in Scotland, almost every distillery in Kentucky as well, and an increasing number of US distilleries as well. It's great when guys like Seth and Justin invite me down here, and it was very much a spur-of-the-moment invite down. They said, "Hey Andy, if you're going to be in the States, do you want to come over?" And I said, "Oh, of course." Bourbon Classic is such a good vibe I get here. Everyone's getting into the glass, everyone's getting into the bourbon, and it's just cool to see, the fruits of your labour getting used in exactly the manner you want it to be used. I always like to think that when you're drinking whiskey from a Glencairn glass or anything that's tulip-shaped, you're appreciating whiskey. Anything else, you're just drinking.